Hey, Matt Haycox here, and we're here for Matt's Monday Masterclass, where every week I answer the questions that you guys have been sending me over the previous week or so on social, on email, etc. So, today we're going to talk about how to close a deal. Now, for the purpose of this, let's consider a deal and a sale the same thing, because pretty much the same principles are going to apply. Now, for me, the biggest problem with this question, like many questions I get asked, is that people are always coming in at the very back end of the process, looking for a hack, looking for a save, where if they'd have got the process right from the beginning, if they'd have had the house in order much earlier along the line, then they wouldn't be needing to ask at the back end how they can save and fix something that is potentially irrecoverable at this point. Now, I can't give you a magic bullet, that's going to close every single deal, every single time with every single person. I'm sure some snake oil salesman with sleazy patter is going to be telling you how he can sell snow to the Eskimos, but I really don't believe in that concept. Now, yeah, for sure, there's always going to be some forceful salespeople who are going to be more aggressive and can probably just close more deals than other people just because the bullying people along the process. But there's no longevity in that, and it's not what I'm about. So for me, these are the steps that you need to have identified much earlier on in the game. Now, first of all, you need to be dealing with the right person. You've got to be dealing with a decision maker. Far too often, people are either dealing with someone who's too low down in the chain, or they might not be low down in the chain, but they're just a wrong person to be closing the deal that you're trying to get over the line. Now, identify also, is it just one decision maker, or is there more than one person that's got to be involved in the process? Because if you don't know who it is, or if there's more than one person, you're only dealing with one person, you could potentially be wasting a lot of time from the outset. Now, secondly, I think it's very important that you've got to be authentic and you've got to be honest. 99% of buyers in today's much more educated, much more transparent online world, they can see through the bullshit. And if you're smarmy, you're a bullshitty salesperson, whether that's to sell a product or to close a deal, people are going to see through it and they're going to be turned off. Now, your product or your proposition has to be good, and you've got to believe in it. Having the right product, having the right solution, that's key to the overall transaction or the deal, and that's something you must have established from the outset. If you've got a shit product that doesn't work, that doesn't do what it's ultimately supposed to do, then ultimately you're just going to disappoint people, and you're going to damage your own credibility, your own reputation and integrity. And any buyer worth of salt's going to see through it all anyway. Now, it's really important to know your competition. That's your competition either in the sense of the product that you're selling, or if you're a buyer and you're trying to close a deal, then you need to know who else is out there in the market, who is a potential buyer, and these are the people that you're up against. So you've got to do your homework. If you get all these stages right from the outset and you follow the process, by the time you get to the closing line, your job is going to be a hell of a lot easier. Look, if someone doesn't want to buy what you're trying to sell, there's no magic trick that's going to make them buy it. And for me, that goes back to the very beginning of the process of making sure that you've got a really, really full pipeline. If you've got a full pipeline of leads, if you're out there networking, if you've got loads and loads of people that you're talking to and other options, by the time you get to the end of the process, if you can't close a sale, then it's not going to cause you any stress. It's not going to cause you any worry, because you've got other people that you can be going to. The big problem, and I think this is why people always ask me the question of how do I close this deal? I've got to the end of the line. What do I do to get it over the line? Is because you've got no other options, and they're absolutely shitting themselves that if they don't do this deal, they've got big problems. So if you get all these stages right from the outset and you follow the process, then by the time you get to the finish line, your job in closing is going to be a hell of a lot easier. Now, if someone really, really doesn't want to buy, there's no magic trick that's going to make them buy. And for me, that goes back to at the very beginning, you've got to have a full pipeline. You've got to have enough prospects, and also they've got to be the right prospects. But if you've got a pipeline full of leads of potential people that you want to buy, then by the time you've followed the right steps and you get to the closing line, if you don't close every deal, which you just won't be able to close every deal anyway, it's not going to cause you as much stress and worry as if you've just got one potential buyer or one deal that you're trying to close. And for me, I think that's probably why I get asked this question, because I think the people asking it, they haven't got enough prospects at the beginning of the process. There's not enough potential buyers for them out there, so they're calling me at the very end of the process when they think if they don't close this deal, what are they going to do? They're going to be in a complete pickle. So have I got any answers? And the answer is no. You've got to get it right much earlier in the game. So I think if you do all those things, you've got a pretty good shot of closing any deal. Have a good week.